Hello students, welcome back. This is Soumya Das, Assistant Professor, Department of Pharmaceutics, Bengal School of Technology, Sugandha, Hooghly. And this video I have come up with the topic that is depression. This will be helpful for the students who are studying D Pharm, B Pharm, PharmD and M Pharm. And I have chosen this topic because now in this situation, in this pandemic situation, this is one of the condition which should be looked after. So let us have a look into this video. Before starting the topic, let us look into the global scenario of the depression. Now, as you can see here, I have kept a screenshot of the web page that I have got from the WHO link, and it says that depression is a common illness which is affected worldwide, and more than 264 million people are affected with the condition of the depression. That means not only the coronavirus, not only the COVID-19, but yes, there is another disorder, that is the depression, which affects a lot of people worldwide. And it is classified as the mood disorder, that is the changes in the mood. The person can have episodic symptoms of sadness, anger, happiness in their day-to-day activities. And in the year 2017, the Institute of Health Metrics and Evaluation, it estimated that 792 million people are residing or staying or living in the world who are suffering from some mental health conditions, mental health disorders. That means 11%, near about 11% of the population of the world is under this mental health disorder. You can see this web page here. I have mentioned the second one is a depression, which says 3.4% of the population globally, that is 264 million people globally, they suffer from the condition of this depression. Really a huge figure. Now, if you come to our country India, you can see here that India stands at the first position of the cases of the depression. That means 5.7 crore people, which comprises of 4.5% of the total population of India, they suffer from the disorder that is called as the depression. And you can see this is, I have taken from the WHO website, that depression is more common in women than in case of the men, and men are likely to have more suicide than in case of the women. And this is a very interesting point here, that each person or one person takes their life every 40 seconds. That means every 40 seconds there is a death due to the condition of the suicide or the decision of the suicide. And this suicide is the last stage of the depression. India has one of the world's highest suicide rates for the youth age 15 to 29 years. This is really a point to be noted, that the population between the age of 15 to 29 years is vulnerable for the condition of the depression. And globally, the suicide rates are declining, but India is increasing its number in the suicide rates. So really it's an alarming figure or alarming notice for all the citizens of India, that why depression is one of the major disorders which is coming or happening to the population of the India. Now let us see that what exactly the depression means. Depression is different from mood or usual mood fluctuation. Usual mood fluctuation, that means when we hear something bad or when we hear something which makes us sad, we become sad. When we are seeing something which makes us happy, we become happy. But here depression is a condition when the person, they have emotional responses, or there is some change emotional responses in their daily activities or everyday life, especially when it is long lasting changes are there, then it can be severe or intense, and if short lasting is there, it can also lead to the anxiety. We can say that the basic cause or the affected person, they suffer greatly due to the or in the functions of their work or school or the family. And at the worst condition, the persons who suffer from the depression, they commit the suicide. Near about 8 lakhs people, they die due to the suicide every year. and this is most common in the population of 15 to 29 years of age. Some statistics says that 76 to 85% of the population or the people in the low or the middle income group, they suffer from some of the mental disorder, let it be the depression, but they don't get the exact treatment because in some cases they don't want to speak out, they don't want to say that they are under the case of the depression. Now, what are the types? What are the types of depression? Mainly, depression can be categorized into three basic categories depending on the state. The first one is the mild, second is the moderate, and third one is the severe. This is according to the symptoms which is generated, and we can predict it after discussing with the doctors. We can classify depression according to the episodes, that is the recurrent depressive disorder and the bipolar affective disorder. In case of the recurrent depressive disorder, there is some episodic effects are there, like episodes can be repeated, like today you are suffering, maybe after 5 days you will suffer, maybe after 10 days you will suffer, and it can last up to some minutes, some seconds, or up to some weeks also. The symptoms are generally anxiety, disturbed sleep, appetite, a feeling of guilt that you have done something wrong, low self worth that I am useless, or poor concentration on what you are doing. And this can be like a mild or this can be severe. If it is a mild, then you can carry out your day-to-day activities nicely. If it is severe, then you face problem in carrying out your day-to-day activities. And second one is the bipolar affective disorder. Now in this bipolar affective disorder, there is a combination of the manic and the depressive episode. That means you go into the mania, you take a point and you stick to the point and you prolong it for a longer period of time. Along with that, you have some depressive episodes like anxiety, anger, irritability, pressure of the speech. That means you feel that pressurized of speaking to someone, and decreased need of the sleep, that is the insomnia. Next, coming to what are the causes. Now, I have kept here a slide or a picture which I have taken from the WHO website, which says that there are 8 most common causes of depression which has been detected. First is the poor nutrition. If you don't have a good brain health, then definitely you go under the condition of the depression. Second is the female sex hormones. Now if you take the females, then there is a lot of hormonal changes in them, starting from the birth to the death, or to the latter age. Now if you take the condition of puberty, when there is a change in the hormone in your body develops some sex hormones, then there is a mood swing. When you enter the age, or when you enter the stage of pregnancy or childbirth, there is a change in the hormones, so you develop mood swings. When you go for the menopause, let it be at the age of 45 or higher, you develop mood swings. So basically, in case of the female, the sex hormones, they play an important role in having this depression. some drugs some drugs can also lead to the condition of the depression. They can aggravate or exaggerate the condition of the depression. Next is the stress. This is the main important reason why the people are under depression. Mental stress due to the work, the family, due to the lifestyle, anything. Traumatic events, like if you get some trauma, if you get hear something very sad, or if you hear something which gives you a shock, then you can go under the depression. Physical health problems, there are some diseases like arthritis, asthma, cancer, cardiovascular disorders, diabetes, where the patient thinks that this is a chronic disorder and this cannot be treated. So then they come under the condition of the depression. Genetics and biology, there are some people who believe that the genetics also play, or the genes also carry the condition of the depression. And lastly is the brain chemistry imbalance. There is some bipolar disorders or some fluctuation in the chemicals in your brain which may lead to the condition of the depression also. So I can broadly classify the depression causes into three categories, that is the social, psychological and the biological factors. Now how you can diagnose, or what are the symptoms of depression. Now it's very interesting that the symptoms of depression is different in case of the three groups of population, that is the men, women and the children. Now if you take the symptoms in case of the men, they are somewhat different in the symptoms in case of the women and the children. Let us have a look into it. If you tell about the mood of the men, then you can see some symptoms like anger, aggressiveness, irritability, anxiousness and restlessness. But when it comes to the woman, you see some changes like only irritability, like irritating in everything, irritating while preparing food, irritating while going to the office, irritating while looking after the children. And in case of the children, the mood such as irritability, anger, mood swings and crying. Now here the important factor is the mood swings. That means the child is very happy now. He is doing his work happily. Within few seconds his mood will change and he will become sad. And ultimately he will cry without any reason or without any factors. Next is emotional well-being. Now emotional well-being in case of the men is like feeling empty, like we don't have anything, sadness and hopelessness, that I cannot do anything. The same thing is in case of women, but in case of the children, the emotional well-being is like feeling of incompetence or despair, crying or intense sadness. Incompetence means the child will feel that I don't have the capacity to compete. I'm out of the competition. I cannot compete with my fellows. So here the child undergoes the condition of the depression. Coming to the third parameter, that is the behavior. In case of the men, the behavior is loss of interest, no longer finding pleasure in doing the favorite works. Like if I love cooking, I'll just lose interest in cooking. I feel tired, I think of suicide or ending my life. I drink excessively, use some drugs, engage in high risk activities like uh, which will bring risk for me. In case of the woman, loss of interest in the activity is seen, and withdrawal from the social engagements like talking to the family members or get together, and thoughts of suicides are also seen. In case of children, the same thing is observed, but the important factor is refusing to go to school. Like the child can say that I don't want to go to school, avoiding the friends or the sibling. They don't want to play with the friends or the sibling. And finally, they think about the death or the suicide. In case of the men, the sexual interest is lost. In case of female, that is not observed generally. In case of men, the cognitive abilities like ability to concentrate, difficult completing tasking or delayed responses are seen. In case of female, only the thinking and talking becomes very slow. There is no other parameter. In case of children, is difficulty in concentrating, like the child will not be able to concentrate on his studies, on his works, on his activities, what he is doing. There is a gradual decline of the performance in the school level. Now sleep patterns, definitely it's insomnia is seen. This sleep pattern is common in all the three categories, like it be men or women or the children. But in case of children, it is seen, or in case of women, the children, it is seen that they feel to sleep more. They are always sleepy in nature. And lastly is the physical well-being. Fatigue, pain, headache, digestive problems, these are seen in case of the men. In case of women, these are also seen, but along with that there is a change in the weight. The female can gain weight or they can lose weight. There is some abdominal cramps, headaches or pain in the joints and the muscles. In case of children, weight loss or weight gain happens. Appetite can change, that means appetite can increase or it can decrease. Now, how your healthcare team or the doctors, they will diagnose that whether you're suffering from the condition of depression or not. The first thing which the doctor will say is to go for the blood test, because there are some of the blood factors like your thyroid or the vitamin D whose deficiency can lead to the state of the depression. Let it be hypothyroidism or the hyperthyroidism, it may lead to the condition of the depression. Second is the series of the standard questions to screen for the depression. Your doctor can have some series or some standard questions which they can ask you to assess that whether you are under the condition of depression or not. Next to the physical examination, doctor can screen you, he can examine physically for any kind of the disease condition or any kind of the harm or the hurt which you have made to yourself. And lastly is the personal interview. Now the fourth one is believed to be the benchmark to state that whether the person is depressed or he is in the well state. So there will be a personal talk in between the doctor and you, and they can tell you about that whether you are depressed or you are in the normal mood. Now coming to the treatment, there are different lines of treatment. The first line of treatment is giving the medications. Along with the psychological counseling, the doctors will suggest you the medications like antidepressants, anti-anxiety and the antipsychotic drugs. Now all these three category of drugs should be taken under the medical surveillance, and they are all the prescribed drugs which are coming under Schedule H. That means without prescription you cannot have these drugs, and there are some restriction of having these drugs. There is some dose regimen is there, so everything will be decided by your doctor, then only they will prescribe you these drugs. Next is the psychotherapy. That means the doctor will talk to you, he will give you some time, he will try to find out that what is that important stimuli which has felt you into the condition of the depression. Next, the light therapy. Some European scientists, they believe that exposing the patient to different colors light can change or can help the person to come out from the state of the depression. This is basically the depression, like, which is a seasonal. That means it comes once in a year or once twice in a year and goes back again, it repeats itself in next year. Okay. And next to the alternative therapies like acupuncture or meditation, which will help in developing or boosting your brain health. Exercises. Exercises leads to the production of the endorphins, which also increases your brain health. Along with the exercises, some hormones can also help in maintenance of the brain health. Now next is the avoid alcohols and the drugs. This is the basic advice which the doctor will suggest, that during the treatment you should not have the alcohol and the drugs. Take care of yourself, talk to your family, talk to your friends, talk to your siblings, so that you come out of the state of the trauma. You feel that yes, you are surrounded with the people. Next are the some of the treatments, that is the electroconvulsive therapy, in short we call it the ECT. Now this therapy, it takes the help of the electric current. It is a therapy which is done under the general anesthesia. Some small electric current is passed through the brain, intentionally triggering a brief seizure, so that your brain chemistry is changed or it is quickly reserve or reverse symptoms of certain mental health conditions. Next is the repetitive transcranial magnetic stimulation, RTMS. In this therapy, we use some electromagnetic coils. The electromagnetic coils are placed on your forehead. The person can lay down or he can be in the inclined position. So there is some generation of the electromagnetic coils which passes and which generates the pulses in your brain, some targeted portion of the brain, so that there is a development of the electric current and the brain chemistry changes. There are some natural treatments which we can also do. Mainly these things are done after the person comes out from the state of depression to maintain the health of the brain. Some supplements like S-adenosyl, L-methionine or 5-hydroxytryptophan or omega-3 fatty acids, these are helpful for the brain development. Generally the omega-3 fatty acids, they are given to the children who are under the state of depression, so their brain health is increased or they get a very good brain health, positive brain health. Apart from this, some vitamins are also given, like basically two vitamins, the vitamin B and vitamin D. Under this vitamin B also vitamin B12 and B6 are generally vital for your brain development or brain health. So if the doctor finds out that you have decreased amount of vitamins B or D, then you can also supplement with this. Vitamin D is also called as a sunshine vitamin, which we get it from natural source, that is the sun rays. So persons who have a vitamin D deficiency, they suffer from the state like brain disorders, the heart disorder or the bone health disorders. So these supplements can be given to maintain the brain health. So dear students, with this we come to the end of this video. I have taken some material from some websites which I have jotted down here. If you have any doubt, you can visit these websites. Further, if you have any doubt, you can drop a comment to this video so that I will be answering you about the queries. Don't forget to subscribe my channel, that is the Edu Knowledge Hub, for more videos. Till then, stay happy, stay healthy. Thank you very much. Bye bye.